So this is a true story. I wanted to share this because I want to show you the advantages of eating fruit in a running race. Okay, this is not my story. Someone tagged me in this on a Facebook, and I think it's a really cool story on how you can basically go from having a terrible race nutrition strategy to finishing the race and having an excellent race nutrition strategy. Okay, this guy experienced both sides of the coin, and I'm going to read this for you so you can get a feel for this. Okay, so here, follow along with me. His name is Roger Chu. Okay, finally set foot at the World Summit of Trail Running, Ultra Trail Mont Blanc. Okay, UTMB 2019. It's a 176-kilometer race, 10,000 meters of elevation gain. It took him 45 hours, almost 250,000 steps, and 10,000 calories burned. Okay, so that's a lot of food to eat, all right, and that's a lot of climbing. That's a long race. After months and years of training and waiting for my name to be called upon, this has been a humbling experience, I have to say. Me and my race partner had discussed our race plan prior to race. We decided that we will go for a sub 40-hour finish, which was quite similar to the H1 timing as we have achieved many times. H1, for those who don't know, stands for Hardcore 100. It's a race in the Philippines where I actually met Roger. Okay. Unfortunately, many things didn't go as planned. For me, 40 kilometers plus into the race, my compression pants split at the bottom. Luckily, it was cold and late into the night, and everyone had their hoods on and heads down, with the long, steep climbs. As we head to the Col de la Seine, the long climb was doable, but the queue was unbelievable. Slow, much time wasted. Upon reaching 50-kilometer mark, finally met up with my pacer partner, Real HO again. Both of us soldiered on together. He then told me he had some troubles too, along the way with his cramps during cold, which have had to slow him down. The second thing that didn't go as planned was the nutrition part, even testing it many times at many races. What I couldn't eat at the checkpoint was salami and baguette. Okay, remember, we're in France, right? And we all know how hard the bread can be when it's cold, okay? Even my Cliff Bar and pork jerky ration was too hard and dry to bite or swallow. Okay, and again, think about eating these foods when you're in a racing situation. Baguette, salami, Cliff Bar, cold, no good. So just had to rely on my gels and dried apricots that was left in my hydration bag. Unfortunately, that too finished quickly. Before I could reach my drop bag at 80 kilometers, Cormier checkpoint, upon reaching the drop bag at the checkpoint, we were truly blessed to see so many friends waiting, especially Renee Tan, Abad J, and Young, and helped us refill our bags and sort out my rations. So he's at 80 kilometers, so he's almost halfway. Another thing that went wrong was that most of my gels in the drop bag was squashed, as all my spare change of clothes was covered with gels, including my spare pants, which I was supposed to change into. Quickly took the pants to rinse it and change into wet pants. So his pants are dirty from the gel, so he's cleaning his pants, putting on wet pants. What was unexpected was Renee brought porridge for both of us and the other Malaysian runners, which was a lifesaver. I slurped it down as much and as fast as I could. I was already on calorie deficit big time and slowing down on the climbs, getting there and was not eating well, also unable to keep the food down. Okay, so again, if you saw my other video recently I just did on GI issues, is these foods like oatmeal, they're very, very difficult to digest. Okay, so no wonder he can't keep it down, because we can only do one thing at a time really well. We can either race and perform, or we can digest. So if you're trying to digest heavy food, this is going to go down. It's that simple. That's when I remembered meeting Jason Manning, a guy which I met during the recent Hardcore 100 2019 race. He races with only eating fruits. So I decided to improvise and grab as much banana, watermelon, and oranges as I can stuff into a Ziploc bag. We spent almost 30 minutes at Cormier. As we left this checkpoint, we only had 30 minutes or less on buffer time. So he's getting really close to course cutoff right now. He's almost getting kicked off the race, which is an extremely stressful experience. With tummy partially full, we fought hard till we reached Col Ferret. That's when the hailstorm hit us. It was raining ice balls. Was advised by my medics to seek shelter temporarily. All the runners that arrived then crammed into 2 big tents, and we wasted almost 40 minutes. Finally, as the storm eased off, it was still very cold, so we wore our rain pants and soldiered on downhill. The route to Champs-de-Lacs takes forever, dark and cold and over distance. We couldn't believe our eyes when we saw Renee and team with hot porridge waiting for us 3 a.m. in the morning. Huge respect for the support we were getting. Filling our tummies yet again with porridge and rushed out as the volunteers were shouting 15 minutes until cut-off time, COT cut-off time, and the checkpoint shut down. Survival mode was on. Never have we ever raced till 15 minutes within cut-off time. So 15 minutes, like, that is super scary, right? So you got to get your training figured out, right? Because if you can't get the food in, you're not going to be able to put the energy out. Okay? To my surprise, it was smooth sailing all the way with my nutrition sorted out, just by loading lots of fruits. I was back in biz, climbing efficiently and fast. We managed to fight sleep deprivation many times with couples of short 1 to 2 minute standing or sitting naps. Okay, let's read this one more time, guys, okay? To my surprise, it was smooth sailing all the way with my nutrition sorted out, just by loading lots of fruits. I was back in biz. Fruit back in biz. And this is a guy who is, he's from Malaysia, so he's probably got access to really good fruit. But the thing is like he never trained or raced on this, yet it still worked. Okay, he was eating gels and oatmeal, and who knows what else, tried to eat baguettes and salami. Then he switched to fruit, and he had a better performance. Okay, and this is just a random person who's never done this before. Okay, tough night too for us, but we had each other. Morning came as we reached Trent. Then we had a lovely pink church. That's where we met Thummy from Philippines. Quick breaky, and all of us set off together. Still feeling strong, all of us attacked the last 2 mountains and reached La Fragire. We much time to spare, almost 2 hours plus. So look at this. So he went from having being 15 minutes on cutoff time to now eating fruit and going 2 hours ahead of cutoff time. That's a huge difference. So amazing, Roger. But there were so many runners there, we didn't bother to take note that it wasn't La Ferride, it was actually La Tête-en-Vence. And La Ferride was 3 kilometers downhill. And here we were taking pics on top of the hill and relaxing. We dusted ourselves off and started running like mad to the last checkpoint. And we hit and run and set off home. This would be the longest 8-kilometer downhill ever. I think by then everyone was tired and my partner had a few stops, again taking pics. Also at a traffic jam waiting for the hundreds of sheep that were blocking our trail down. That's where I lost him. As I slowly strolled down, I met up with Thummy, and he stopped to change a tire, so I waited for him again. My partner was still nowhere to be found. Gradually, we came back to the road. The route back to FL, I'm not sure what FL is, La Flagire maybe, was unbelievable. Along the way, Jackie Kang was waiting, and they ran with us. Everyone we passed was clapping our hands and shouting bravo. Allez. Further, bravo. Allez means go. It's a French word for go. Further down was Yang, Lily, Hei Ling, waiting to run together back. It was the most memorable ever. I'd like to mention in the beginning, this is the most humbling experience ever because so many friends came together to make this happen and had so many to thank along the way who helped support me to the finish line. Yes, there were times I doubted myself, making the cutoff time, and also giving up, to be honest. Yeah, that's hard. That's a big point to make out. As soon as you get close to getting the cutoff time, you just want to give up that much more because you don't think you can do it. Almost done here. Special shout and thank to especially my race partner, the real HO, which we have fought many tough battles this year. Would like to thank my lovely wife Penny, Caitlin for putting up with me all these years to let me pursue this ultimate dream of racing here. They had to put up with me training long hours in the weekends and not spending much time with them. Special thank you to my sponsors, Lead Sensor Malaysia, Yamtur and Socks, La Fuma Malaysia, and Sunto Malaysia. And most of all, WBC Penang for keeping me race fit all the time. Also to my training buddies, Will Brooks, Keitho NG, Fiona, Lim, Dellen, Chia, Debbie, chin the countless hours of the hills from dawn to dusk, week after week. Thank you. I just think that's an incredible story. And when I read this, I was blown away. So Roger, I'm so glad I was able to help. And I'm so glad you were able to finish one of the most iconic races, UTMB, Ultra Trail de Mont Blanc. That's an incredible story, man. I hope I can get there one day. And I hope we get to meet one day again. So I just wanted to share that because it just goes to highlight what can happen when you are racing an ultra marathon or a race and you switch from eating the food that is slow to the food that is fast, okay? Cooked food, slow, fruit, fast, and he improved, okay? So claps to Roger, and I hope everyone is having a great day, and that gives them a lot of thought, okay? Have a great day, bye.